is taking Maria, Casey, and me, Shelly, to the zoo. Maria and Casey, have you been to the zoo before?
Says Shelly.
No,
Says Maria.
I have never been to the zoo before.
Me neither. I don't know what to expect.
Says Casey.
Well, you can expect to see many different animals. I'm sure you will enjoy them all.
Says Shelly as she signs animal. The first animal they see is a bear. Maria looks at the bears exhibit and says,
Wow, those are big bears.
Casey can't say a word. He just stands there with his mouth gaping.
Yes, Maria. Bears are big, furry animals that can be found in North America, South America, Asia, and Europe,
Says Shelly as she signs bear. They keep exploring the zoo. At the next exhibit, Casey says,
I know what this animal is. It's the king of the jungle.
Maria asks.
Where do these animals live, Shelly?
Shelly says,
Lions live in Africa and Asia. They are the second largest living cat after the tiger.
She shows them the sign for lion. They walk until they reach the next exhibit. Casey looks inside and starts dancing around and making noises. Maria says,
Casey, why aren't you jumping about?
Shelly replies,
Casey is imitating those monkeys on the branches. Monkeys live in trees in the grasslands, mountains, and forests, and on the high plains. They can be found in almost every country in the world.
She shows them the sign for monkey. The children move on to the next area. Shelly points at the striped animal and says,
Look! There is the tiger, the largest living cat. You can tell it's a tiger by the black stripes on its body.
She shows them the sign for tiger. Maria says,
His teeth look so big and sharp.
Casey smiles and says,
He is looking at me as if he wants to eat me for lunch. I'm afraid of him. Let's go.
They continue to wander through the zoo, wondering what the next animal will be. Suddenly, Casey stops and holds his nose.
Ew! Do you smell that?
He says. Maria frowns and says,
Yes! What is that horrible smell?
Shelly holds her nose with one hand and points with the other hand at a group of elephants. Shelly says,
Oh, those are African elephants. They can live for 60 to 80 years. They are endangered due to illegal poaching by hunters and the loss of their natural habitat by land developers.
She shows them the sign for elephant. They walk into a cave, and when they reach the end, they see large glass tanks. Casey stops in front of the first window and says,
These animals know how to dance. They are moving their head from right to left.
Casey imitates the animals, moving his head from right to left. Maria laughs and says,
Casey, you're so silly.
Shelly says,
Those are snakes. The one that is moving its head is a cobra. They live in Asia and Africa. Cobras are very dangerous.
Shelly shows them the sign for snake. They watch the snakes for a few more minutes and move on to the next tank. This one is an aquarium, and it's full of fish.
Wow! I didn't know there were so many different kinds of fish in the world.
Says Maria.
Me neither.
Says Casey.
Look at that fish with the big mouth at the back of the aquarium.
Shelly says.
There are over 25,000 kinds of fish in the world. That one is called a grouper.
Shelly shows them the sign for fish.
Look at those turtles!
Says Shelly when they stop in front of the next tank.
Did you know that turtles are reptiles and they can live up to 150 years or even longer?
Maria replies.
Wow! That is very old.
Casey says.
That is older than my grandmother.
Shelly shows them the sign for turtle. Casey walks ahead of the girls to the next exhibit. Before they catch up, he turns and races back to them.
I don't think you want to go that way.
He says out of breath.
Why not?
Says Maria. Casey says.
There is a huge animal with a bunch of enormous teeth lying in there.
The girls do want to see, and they rush to the next window. Inside, they see an alligator lying on a rock with his mouth wide open.
That's an alligator!
Says Shelly.
Alligators are reptiles, and they live for about 40 years. That alligator has his mouth open because that's how he cools off when he's hot or warms up when he's cold.
Shelly shows her friends the sign for alligator.
Let's come back to the zoo another day and visit more animals.
Says Maria.
Yes!
Says Shelly.
And I will show you more